I'm so pleased to have Refilwe Sebothoma, the CEO of Hakem Energies. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. It's an absolute pleasure to be here.
As we look at how 900 million Africans lack access to clean cooking, how are you positioning LPG as a scalable solution for this challenge?
Yeah. So I think really it's also important to really start by the many ripple effect that comes as a result of energy poverty. I mean, here in South Africa, in the country, we see how women are still being raped when they go to the field to collect wood and killed. We see how kids die because of paraffin poisoning, because majority of the communities still rely on paraffin stoves as an example. And I think it's important to start there because so that we also do not just have energy poverty as a political issue, but it's real life lived every single day by South African and by African people as well. So what we have done from a Hakem Energy perspective, we were really addressing what we call the triple A: availability, accessibility, and most importantly, affordability. Making sure that if we look at the just energy transition framework, it's about that. It's about justice, that the people who need the source of energy the most are actually having access to it. So we have innovated LPG boxes. We are taking them straight into the communities to make sure that LPG then becomes available as a source of cleaner alternatives compared to them cooking on biomass.
And beyond households, your LPG offering extends to mining,
Yeah.
agriculture, and hospitality.
Yeah.
What role do you see LPG playing in transforming these sectors?
Yeah. And I think that's a very important component part of the business. Although the heartbeat is really around making sure that we transition communities, it is also important to have what we call anchor partners or anchor customers, because I also want to make sure that we build businesses that proves that we can be social and drive social impact, but at the same time be profitable and be sustainable. Because often we want to have it as separate conversations, as if we cannot be social and be profitable. So LPG, it's starting to really position itself as a great fuel for gas to power generation, where a lot of our customers are using it instead of using coal or diesel for generators. We also see a lot of establishments use it for cooking for a lot of people, as an example. But we also see auto gas starting to grow in the country. So we really see LPG as a fuel of choice, not just for domestic use, but for commercial use as well.
And how do you ensure infrastructure support for LPG distribution in remote and rural areas where energy access is mostly limited?
So through our LPG boxes, I think a few things that we've really done well is that we have looked at the most sustainable way of bringing infrastructure into those communities. And for us, it has always been about what do we have that we can do immediately, right? Because sometimes I think we wait for big things and we wait too long to implement. So for us, it was really about the simplest solution for those communities. Secondly, it was really about the model of pay as you can afford, because we also understand that sometimes communities are not able to refill a full cylinder because of issues of affordability. But most importantly, making sure that the very same money that they have limited, they don't use it in transport facilities trying to get to the nearest filling stations, but the filling stations are right there in their own communities. So that's really what we are doing. What is also attractive about the model is that should it not work in a particular position, we are then able to move it to the next position. So I think it's a very simplified but yet needs purpose driven solutions. And I think it's important that when we are looking for solutions for communities, we look for some solutions like that.
And what do you hope to achieve at African Energy Week in terms of partnerships or policy support for accelerating LPG adoption?
So I think one thing that I'm very clear about and we are hoping to achieve this week is really to continue to be an advocate for people who are not in this room to speak for themselves, because at the heart of Hakem, that's what we're trying to do, to really speak for the marginalized communities, people who are forgotten, to make sure that their voice are not left out of this conversation. We are also looking for partnership, you know, I mean, we have self-funded the project from the beginning, and it's not easy, it's quite expensive. The regulations make it even more difficult for a lot of small players to come in. But lastly, I am very passionate about women empowerment, because I do believe that women in communities should be at the forefront of just energy transition. But also we have seen firsthand, Muriri, that when women are integrated in solutions, the solutions are able to be impactful and to be correctly implemented as well. So I argue that if women are making decisions for cooking, why then women are not integrated and lead part of clean cooking from an economic perspective. So those are some of the things that I really want to highlight. And also, how do industry players and industry owners deliberately start creating unique solutions to empower last mile entrepreneurs? Because I doubt we are going to achieve what we want to achieve from a transition perspective if last mile implementers are not empowered.
And just my final question, AEW 2025 brings together investors and policymakers. How can this platform help scale your clean cooking and industrial LPG initiatives across Africa?
Yeah. So one of my absolute African proverbs, it says, if you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, go together. I am really hoping that a platform like AEW 2025, it's able to amplify the need for us to collaborate, to work together, to lean on each other. I think that's the first one. The second one for me, it's really about implementation. I often say that we come here, we have this robust conversations, but it's going to be such a cool thing for us to look back and say, these are the things we discussed, but most importantly, these are the things that we've been able to implement. And yeah, very excited about it.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us.